Up in the sky.
Is it a bird?
Is it a plane?
No! It's your ever-loving blue-eyed guide through the vast and wondrous world of comics. Follow your host Colin to Pittsburgh Comics as he regales you with options aplenty in Comics Now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for July 2025. Well, summer is here. We've had rains and flood. We've had unreal heat coming on. So what I'm asking you to do is take some time for yourself right now. Maybe just chill inside because we don't know what the elements are bringing. And we have lots of stuff that you can read while you're doing that. There are a lot of great comic book movies coming. We have Superman coming up and then Fantastic Four right after that. And the publishers are joining in with that. It's been the summer of Superman with some more Superman stuff still coming. And we have two new Fantastic Four #1s coming. It's a new series starting with a new #1. And then there's a mini series set in the world of the movie. And it's so lots of stuff coming in to tie in with the movies. So fun stuff going on and lots of neat stuff going on here as well. Our graphic novel spotlight this month, we decided we vary it up. We try to do either a character or a publisher, and this time we're doing a creator. We decided to hit on Jonathan Hickman. He has nothing to do with the other two, although he had a big Fantastic Four run that's sadly out of print. But he has so much going on right now. He started with the Avengers run when he was doing the Avengers a while back. Then he revitalized the X-Men, and right now he's on Ultimate Spider-Man, and he is just hitting it out of the park. So Tim set up a nice little display of all of Hickman's stuff going back to his independent days at Image when he was doing all sorts of stuff there. So come on in, check it out. And for book club this month, I finally got them in. It took almost a month to get these books in, but to tie in with the Superman theme and the James Gunn theme, this is going to be for the end of the month. We're doing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is by Tom King and Bilquis Evely. And this is one of the books that James Gunn is going to turn into a movie. So we're not doing a Superman book, but we're doing a Superman family book. So that's what's going on here. As we get going to talk about the new books, we're going to start with Marvel because all the Fantastic Four hype and the new Fantastic Four books. So here's what's coming from Marvel Comics. First up, Fantastic Four #1. This is by Ryan North and Humberto Ramos. A new era for Marvel's first family. When the Fantastic Four take on Doom, things go well until they suddenly go catastrophically wrong. And they're sent to 4 different eras in Earth's history. Alone and isolated in wildly different time periods, Reed, Johnny, Ben, and Sue all have to fight to survive. Their only hope is to reach the Forever Stone, a mass of dense granite that happens to be one of the longest-lasting rocks on the planet, which, through a combination of obscurity and rare geographical luck, has stayed both intact and accessible for most of Earth's history. We also have Fantastic Four First Steps. This is written by Matt Fraction and drawn by Mark Buckingham. From the world of the upcoming film as authorized by the Future Foundation. 4 years ago, the world was transformed as an amazing cosmic-powered quartet revealed themselves and their astonishing abilities to the public. Since that time, they've become world famous as the Fantastic Four. Now, to celebrate that anniversary, Marvel Comics recounts their very first exploit when they clashed with the subterranean Mole Man and his underground legions. We also have a new Captain America series. This is written by Chip Zdarsky and drawn by Valerie Sheedy. While Captain America slumbered in ice, the world changed, for better and for worse. Steve Rogers awakens to a reality where battles are fought in the shadows through secrets and subterfuge, and villains aren't so easy to identify. When a fledgling dictator named Victor Von Doom conquers Latveria, Steve faces a critical decision: adapt to a new kind of warfare or forge his own path. What does the choice he makes in the past mean for his future? Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. It is all Godzilla for a little bit here. But we have Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe by Jerry Duggan and Javier Garrón. Look out, New York. A previously dormant Godzilla has been angrily awoken and begun carving a path of annihilation as Earth's mightiest heroes band together to try to stop its cataclysmic rampage. But when their combined efforts failed to slow the bringer of destruction. Earth's heroes are forced to go to extraordinary lengths to try and bring Godzilla down, including joining forces with Earth's most devious villains. But will this be enough to stop Godzilla as it tears straight through the Marvel Universe into the Dark Dimension and other realms? Godzilla vs. Thor #1. This is by Jason Aaron and Aaron Cooter. The deadly group of assassins known as the Hand have bestowed Godzilla with the power of the Beast. Krakoom! Thor must defend Midgard from Godzilla. But at what cost? We also have giant-sized House of M. She's flown with the all-different X-Men on their first mission, withstood the Dark Phoenix, and survived the Age of Apocalypse. And now Ms. Marvel is rewarded with a world where mutants reign supreme. But beneath the gilded surface, this utopia is rotting with prejudice and oppression. And Kamala must find an unlikely ally in a schoolteacher, Kitty Pryde, to help her learn to live in this brave new world. We have a couple Bring on the Bad Guys books. Bring on the Bad Guys Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is one of the most terrifying villains in the Marvel Universe, thanks to a deal with Mephisto. But what does the Soul Forge have to do with it? We also have Abomination. Emil Blonsky is never one to turn down a good deal, whether it's to fell the mighty Grootslang in exchange for his freedom from a Wakandan prison, or to collect a soul on behalf of Mephisto for a mystery boon. The Abomination is always the monster for the job, and he's going to prove it once and for all. Lastly, Bring on the Bad Guys, Loki. Loki is the god of mischief. Mephisto is the god of lies. In a centuries-old battle of wits, Loki needs a favor, and in exchange, Mephisto commands him to retrieve a soul, one belonging to an agent of Khonshu, but no one tells Loki what to do. We also have Immortal Thor 25, the last issue of this run. At the end of his tale, Thor strode into Vildblain, third land of the dead, whence nothing could return. And there, beyond all battles, beyond all cares, he stood and fought for justice one last time, against the great serpent who wore its own face and held his own hammer. This was the story of the immortal Thor and the deciding of his fate. We also have Marvel Swimsuit Special, Friends, Foes, and Rivals. Roxxon Comics is at it again when they release their own unauthorized swimsuit special. Wasp is on the case and seizes the opportunity for Marvel's heroes to do their own swimwear fashion shoot all over the world. But fear not, true believers. We know what you're really here for. This supersized special features splash page after splash page of gorgeous art, but with a story so you can pretend you're reading it for the articles. We also have a new Werewolf by Night, Blood Moon Rise, a first-of-its-kind tale of terror in the Marvel Universe with one goal in mind: to show you why Werewolf by Night is as captivating as ever, with over 50 years of comics history and 100 times as many bodies in his wake. We also have Spider-Man versus the Sinister 16. This is a J. Michael Straczynski book, drawn by Phil Noto. Peter Parker was just trying to have a nice night out, but wouldn't you know it, the Parker luck has filled his evening with an assortment of some of Marvel Universe's most vile villains. We also have Wolverines and Deadpools #1. What's better than the best there is partnered up with the Merc with the Mouth? How about adding daughters Ellie Camacho and Laura Kinney to the mission as they go up against a classic X-villain? We also have X-Men by Chris Claremont, Prelude to a Future Past. The rarest Chris Claremont tale of all, finally available to the masses, alongside the all-time classic that inspired it. Revisit the nightmarish world of tomorrow that is Days of Future Past in a revelatory prelude that was previously only available in a limited edition hardcover. One World Under Doom continues in Runaways #2, Doom's Division 5, Superior Avengers 4, Doctor Strange of Asgard 5, Red Hulk 6, Iron Man 10, Gods, One World Under Doom 1, and Avengers 28. There's no World Under Doom issue in July, and we're getting a double-sized one in August. Another new one, Doomed 2099, #1. The future is doomed? The world is doomed, but does that include the world that is yet to be? A coalition from the future, including Old Man Logan, Rachel Summers Phoenix, Bishop, Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Maestro, and Deathlock, say otherwise. But will the arrival of Doom 2099 change the odds for the new Sorcerer Supreme? Is he there to back his past self or destroy him forever? And we also have X-Men Hellfire Vigil #1. 1 year ago at the final Hellfire Gala, the dream of a unified mutant nation was forever shattered by a cowardly sneak attack by anti-mutant forces. To mark the moment and to proclaim loudly and strongly to all concerned that mutant kind still stands, the time has come for the X-Men of all stripes to come together in solidarity and celebration. We also have What If Goofy Became Spider-Man? Goofy became the Amazing Spider-Man in this tale that's sure to make you go gorsh. Goofy Parker must learn the ultimate lesson of responsibility to save his beloved Uncle Ben. And wait till you see what he does to those Beagle Boys. Oh, yup. We also have Savage Wolverine #1. Wolverine cuts a bloody path through the American West as Krakoa's sins come back to haunt all mutant kind. We have a new It's Jeff book, Infinity Paws. Jeff the Landshark and his friends have been caught in a struggle over the Space Stone and flung across the galaxy to the middle of nowhere. They'll have to work together to get back home, but what's a trial-based odyssey to the pets of Earth's mightiest heroes? Facsimile editions this month are Fantastic Four #7, X-Men 137, and Fantastic Four 50. We also have a new Predator book, Black, White, and Blood. A young predator trying to prove himself prowls the Australian frontier, but his hunt goes south. A run-in with some humans from a convict colony will change the trajectory of everyone's lives and take readers on a journey never before seen in the Predator universe. So that's all we got new coming from Marvel Comics. Now we move on to DC Comics. New from DC this July, starting off Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit. This is a weekly book, so we get a new one every week, all 5 issues. There's a hot new outer space themed nightclub in Gotham City, and who better to rob it than Catwoman, Ivy, and Harley? But there's more to this intergalactic discotheque than meets the eye, as the Sirens discover when they stumble headfirst into a plot to destroy the entire planet, led by the club's owner, the alien despot Despero. I hope you have good insurance, Gotham City, because you're about to get wrecked. We also have Superman Treasury. This is a new Treasury-sized book. Legends collide as the Man of Steel goes supersized for the summer of Superman. In this all-new Treasury edition, Dan Jurgens and Bruno Redondo craft a larger-than-life story of power, tragedy, action, and above all, hope. We also have Justice League Dark Tomorrow Special. In the wake of We Are Yesterday crossover epic, a mysterious quantum quorum has emerged, stalked by a lethal enemy that takes no prisoners. The League deputizes a ragtag group of time-displaced heroes like Batman Beyond, Gold Beetle, and Helena Wayne to fill the void left behind by the Time Masters and save the Quorum from the mysterious threat that's picking off time travelers one by one. We also have a bunch of annuals because it's a 5 Wednesday month. So we have Nightwing Annual. Commissioner Maggie Sawyer digs into the past crimes of the mysterious Olivia Pierce and discovers far more than she bargained for when she uncovers the existence of a strange and terrible entity. What is the Zani? Where does it come from? And what are its true plans for Nightwing? We also have Flash, Bad Moon Rising Special, part of that storyline. We have Titans Annual. Phil Jimenez makes his grand return to another fan favorite Wonder Woman in this oversized annual. Donna Troy reflects on the many loves and lives that shaped her as she cuts a trail through New York City to meet her estranged father for the very first time. But what awaits her at the end of her journey will shock Donna and readers alike. We also have Batman Gotham by Gaslight is back to finish this story, A League for Justice. Bear witness to the formation of a new kind of Justice League in a steam-powered adventure that will bring these once familiar heroes from the open plains of the Midwest to the freezing Arctic as they unravel the mystery of alien artifacts from the Kryptonian age. Their summer special is DC's California Love. And then facsimile edition, we have a Superman #1 facsimile edition and Batman 655 facsimile, which is the first Grant Morrison and the first appearance of Damian Wayne. Now on to what's coming from Image Comics. Image. The first thing is The Knives, a criminal book hardcover. This is the next one by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. These have been hugely popular. It's just a new hardcover in that line. Then The Voice Said Kill. This is a new one from Cy Spurrier and Vanessa Del Rey. Fargo meets Deliverance in a sweaty swamp thriller. The wet heat of the Louisiana Bayou. Alligator poachers prowl the mudbug mire. A park ranger, heavily pregnant, raises a hateful mug of moonshine with a criminal matriarch. and one deadly jerk out of his mind on shrooms and retribution loads his rifle for the human hunt and screams down the stars. We also have Dread the Hull H. It's comic convention season, and what better way to celebrate Comic-Cons than this extra-length anthology filled with con-related horror stories. Ghost Pepper, a new action series about forgotten heroes, cutthroat food trucks, and saving the world again. We also have Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story. Lifelong friends Sophie and Violet were practically sisters. Now at college, they've been slowly drifting apart. But when Violet accidentally drowns at a sorority hazing, a devastated Sophie pleads with her psychic sister Hood to contact her dead friend. Sometimes you get what you wish for, but on Hyde Street, there's always a cost, and it's a killer. This Ends Tonight, this is a new one from Jerry Duggan and Jay Lee. The pulse-pounding comic event of the summer aims for your jugular. 3 interconnected tales of bloody revenge in Las Vegas. The debut issue stars 2 sisters hunted by assassins for their shocking family secret. And lastly, The Unchosen. This is written and drawn by David Marquez. 13-year-old Aida wakes in a city laid waste by a massive explosion, a scene of devastation that she caused. Pursued by rival forces wielding incredible power, she must discover who truly wants to help her, who wants to control her, and the truth behind her own mysterious past. Now on to IDW and Dark Horse. It is Godzilla month at IDW. So, starting off, we have a new Godzilla #1. This is written by Tim Seeley, new series starting. In 1954, experimentation with the mysterious energy source known as the Kai-Se awakened Godzilla and a host of immortal kaiju. In the years that follow, humanity has been pummeled by near-constant monster attacks. While Japan has begun to treat the kaiju like natural disasters, understanding that their attempts to fight Godzilla only make the threat worse, American G-Force is coming to fight. We also have Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. Inside the new IDW Godzilla universe, there exists a mystery larger than any other. What is the Dead Zone? Inhabitants of this new world know the Dead Zone to be a walled-off portion of the Pacific Northwest. The government would have its citizens believe that nothing is still alive inside the Dead Zone. But do you believe that? We also have Godzilla vs. America, but this one's now in Boston. And Star Trek Red Shirts. Led by an experienced officer embedded on the snow-ridden planet Arconia 89, the crew of the USS Warren has a small window in which to pin down spies seeking to steal classified secrets and keep Starfleet data out of their nefarious hands. We also have a return of Beneath the Trees is back. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring. It's been 8 long years since a bloodlusting brown bear drove to the city, kidnapped a young duck, dissected his body, and buried the pieces in the woods. The duck's family painstakingly sought justice, but this brown bear was smart. She covered her tracks, and in the 80s, there simply wasn't a way for the duck's family to find answers. But it's not the 80s anymore. Almost a decade after the cuddly brown bear, Samantha Strong solidified herself as the sole serial killer in Woodbrook. The world is entering a new era. As Samantha will soon find out, there are no secrets in the age of the internet, and those who lost loved ones to her massacre haven't given up the flame of justice. Dark Horse has some new ones, some interesting ones too. We have Archie versus Minor Threats. This is written by Patton Oswalt, part of his series, but I bring in the Archie kids. Not a hoax, not a dream. The fun-loving teens of Riverdale collide with the crooked supercriminals of Twilight City in the most bombastic crossover of the year. We also have 2 Hellboy books. First, Hellboy and the BPRD, Professor Harvey is gone. A paranoid antiquities professor goes missing, and Hellboy's search for him takes a dangerous turn when the same person who was after the professor might be after Hellboy as well. We also have Hellboy in Love, The Art of Fire. Hellboy and archaeologist Anastasio Brandfield trek to Iceland for evidence of a seemingly impossible network of occultists, but a fresh dig site holds answers that come at a steep and risky price. So I have Masterminds. When an ambitious and troubled video game programmer dares to audition for a secret society in the gaming tech industry, composed of cutthroat, genius masterminds that will promise to help their members achieve their wildest dreams, he and his rebellious coworker find themselves in a gauntlet of real-life puzzles that quickly turn deadly. Are they truly smart enough to survive the mysterious game of the masterminds? We also have Nemesis returning. This is from Mark Miller. Nemesis Forever. Nemesis is the world's most dangerous man, and now he's made himself into one of the richest. No longer content to just terrorize the forces of law and order, his new plan is to wreak havoc on his enemies and seize control of the world itself and enslave humanity with super technology. We also have Quick Stops. Volume 3 comes back. This is by Kevin Smith. And there's a new Resident Alien series, The Book of Changes. Now on for the rest of the publishers. Next up is Dynamite, and a couple from them, Vampirella Armageddon. Picking up from the end of Vampirella Strikes, Armageddon opens with the daughter of Draculon beset on all sides by the forces of chaos, even as a new threat arrives to add to her troubles, a threat that is not of this mortal plane. Space Ghost returns. For some reason, they ended the first series. Now they started a new one. As Space Ghost and Blip fight to defuse the hostage situation on an amusement park planet that's been hijacked by the villainous toy maker, Jan and Jace are confronted by a mysterious figure from their past, a meeting that will shake the Ghost Planet's team to the core. Titan gives us Rebel Moon Genesis. This is written by Gail Simone, taking place before she became the sword-wielding cyborg assassin. This is an action-packed story in the style of revenge western in which an innocent woman finds herself in the path of Imperium soldiers who slaughter her family. Boom has a new fence series that they've been doing about a high school fencing team. There's a new Dune book, Edge of a Crysknife Hiding Among Harkonnens. And The War. This is Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan. This is collecting their story that was in Hello Darkness. Exploring the modern fear of nuclear war and societal collapse. In New York City, a group of friends watch their fears become reality as they face the immediate threat of nuclear war. Everyone has a different plan for survival at the end of the world. Who will live? Who will die? Ahoy gives us a new Toxic Avengers ongoing comic. Kids are disappearing from Toxie's hometown of Tromaville, New Jersey. Did they simply run away from the chemically polluted town? Or is the real explanation even more frightening? Archie gives us Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob. This one is written by Kevin Smith. AWA has a new one, Illuminati. This is written by Brian Edward Hill with art by Dennis Cowan and Bill Sienkiewicz. Charlemagne the God presents a dark conspiracy tale that shines a light on the most enduring conspiracy of our day. Lily, an aspiring musician, comes to Los Angeles to bury her sister Jackie, a rising pop star who died from a drug overdose. But Lily knows that there is more to Jackie's death than meets the eye. Embarking on an investigation that takes her on a tour of the dark underbelly of the music industry, Lily uncovers a centuries-old conspiracy that grants fame and fortune at a terrible price. The Illuminati are real, and Lily is about to learn that the world above is the same as the world below, and the power she needs to offset their gravitational pull might just come from the darkness she fears. Oni Press has added a new book, Catacomb of Torment. Behold, a bloody new ongoing series. Out of the ashes of Epitaphs from the Abyss, we usher the Tormentor, a new horror host with an unhealthy interest in human anatomy, into the shadow-strewn halls of EC Comics history for our next monthly horror anthology. We also have The Sixth Gun returns. Sixth Gun Battle for the Sixth. This is by the original creators Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt. In 1866, out of the ruins of the failed Confederate uprising, a race to claim 6 objects of unfathomable occult power began, thrusting the fate of humanity into the hands of an ordinary young woman and a hard-nosed gunslinger who, together, were our last best hope to forestall Armageddon. They prevailed, but at a terrible price. But that was then, this is now. 3 decades later, as the gears of a new millennium begin to grind on the cusp of the 20th century, the Sixth Gun is about to be reborn once more, as it has been countless times across the eons. This time, however, a brigade of familiar fighters lies in wait to meet the Sixth Gun's nigh limitless power, head on, alongside a secret cabal that wished to harness its unspeakable power to incept a new century of war, genocide, and suffering. Mad Cave has a couple new ones, a new Speed Racer comic. Speed Racer lives for the thrill of the race, but on the underground circuit, the rules are anything goes. Dodging bullets, explosions, and dirty tricks, he's got one goal, to prove he's the best. But when a dangerous syndicate targets his family, Speed's greatest challenge won't be on the track, it'll be on the streets. With the police closing in and a masked racer lurking in the shadows, Speed is about to learn that some races can't be won with horsepower alone. They also have Look Into My Eyes. When your nightmares take on a shape, only you can stop them. When Susie, a high school student, mysteriously vanishes, conspiracy-obsessed teen RJ Nguyen is determined to uncover the truth. But things in Cravenwood are far from normal. As RJ digs into Susie's disappearance, she stumbles upon an unsettling rise of Knock Knock, a wildly popular social app that seems to be taking over the town. Oh, and did we mention the sudden appearance of a grotesque, many-eyed monsters lurking in the shadows? There's a Wild Animals. This is written by Ed Brisson. Neil's life has been falling apart ever since his father was killed by crooked cops. 15 years later, Neil's mother lays on her deathbed and he's stuck in a dead-end job, has nowhere to live and no hope to speak of. Life keeps kicking Neil and he keeps taking it, too frightened to fight back, until now. With his world crumbling around him, Neil finds himself backed into a corner with no choice to make a stand and right the wrongs that have haunted him for years. Revenge is a dangerous path to walk, and the deeper Neil goes, the more he realizes that violence is all-consuming. New one from Vault, we have Post Malone's Big Rig. The Dark Ages. Demon hordes plague Europe as hell invades Earth. The Six Petals, a secret sect of Knights Templar, are in desperate need of the means to drive back the Scourge and turn the tide of the onslaught. What crashes to Earth is the Rig, a fully loaded tractor trailer. In the aftermath of its arrival, the only man left standing is an enigmatic former priest excommunicated from the Six Petals. He will become trucker and lead the fight against hell behind the wheel of a demon-slaying machine. And last up, we have Bad Idea is back, and they have a new one they promoted big at Free Comic Book Day, and now number one's finally coming, Planet Death. Millions of miles from home, hundreds of ships descend into the stormy atmosphere of a hostile, frozen world. On board, an army of resolute men and women brace for the coming assault. They're an invasion force on an impossible mission. Destroy the devastating enemy weapon garrisoned below. Corporal Scott and his battalion are the vanguard, but the human forces are no match for their brutal alien adversaries. Scott's battalion is dead within moments. He is its lone survivor. The landing force annihilated. The battle is lost. Against overwhelming odds, Scott dares the unthinkable. Cross behind enemy lines, survive the lethal landscape, evade capture by ruthless enemies, resist natural predators, face human deserters, and finish the mission single-handedly. Locked in a suit of full combat battle armor, sustained only by what he can carry and driven by Earth's wrath, Scott must do by himself what an entire army could not. Destroy the weapon. Return home. So that's the new stuff that's coming out this July. Extra size month with an extra Wednesday of books. We're doing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is going to be book club on I think it's the 25th of July. And then all month long, we are spotlighting the work of Jonathan Hickman. So if you have any questions, the website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky are PGH Comics. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.
For centuries, I have believed that my methods were the only way forward for mutant kind, that I could become mutant kind's great monster in the darkness, driving the species forward through fear and might. You have lost much, Douglas Ramsey. And death can be a passage toward rebirth. Ah! Whew. Behold my hair. Behold revelation.